we didn't.
My car crash.
Did we do car crashes? Because we've both been in car crashes.
Have you?
Yeah.
I actually thought mine was a nightmare. Like I was pinching myself. Trying
Really?
To and I was like, this is.
Are you happy to go into it?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Bit of a tangent, but I mean, it's
It's
Halloween,
nice.
isn't it?
Traumatising, scary.
Mine was on the 5th. What was it? Bonfire night, so it's fairly close. Yeah, I was like 17, and I've just bought a Ford Escort 1.6. That's what I was like.
The boy.
Yeah, I thought it was the boy. So I was like just out cruising with like one of my mates, and it was quite late. It must have been near like sort of 12 o'clock or whatever, and decided to go home. So I was on my way back home, and we just took like a last minute detour. We were like, oh, we'll go down the seafront one more time, do a little, because you used to do, you do like a little cruise, and then I was like, we'll come back. So like literally, I remember like just making that decision of like just turning right and going down a different road, and like so just speeding. I won't say how fast I was going, but I was speeding. And just come round the corner and just lost control of the car, and basically just sort of hit a fence, went through the fence, went down like a steep bank, hit this like metal ladder which spun up, and then the car was just on a railway track.
Fuck, you're joking.
So the car had smashed. The car had like sort of like bent in half that way. So they couldn't move the car. It was completely disabled. And I looked right, and it's just railway line.
Oh,
and I looked left, and there's railway line. So like, obviously, like checked my mate. I was like, mate, get out of the fucking car. We're on a railway track. Like, And I'm thinking in my head, it's a nightmare. You know,
it
just doesn't feel real.
Ridiculous.
It doesn't feel 1 minute. I'm just, it's just normal life.
Yeah, but also
whatever.
the chances of that.
Yeah, and like I was just like, right, get out of the car. So we jumped out of the car, and obviously with like the sound of the crash, there was houses opposite which had already called the police, and luckily the police station wasn't that too far, so he was there within 2 minutes of it, and I was still like in shock. So yeah, the police officer turns up, and the first thing he says to me is like, obviously it's really bad, but like don't worry, the trains aren't running at the moment. So I was like, fucking like sort of thank God for that.
Yeah.
And then as he said that, I heard the tracks sort of vibrating.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck. And then literally looked down the line, and there's a fucking train which had coming down the line. And obviously my car's in the middle of the track. Yeah. So he jumped down. He's like waving a flag, trying to flag it down and stop it, and the train just comes straight through.
Smashes the car.
Just takes the car about 100 yards up the track. But obviously, what's going through my head is like, watch loads of it. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking of like an explosion. As it's coming, I'm just thinking, all I'm thinking is I'm going to prison basically. Yeah. This could derail. Yeah. There could be hundreds of people. I'm just thinking like this, you see these things on the news where the fucking... Yeah. And I'm just like, that's it. My life is completely over. And I'm literally there. I was literally just there, just like... I think I'd like kind of like collapsed. I was just on the floor.
I remember you telling me about it.
I remember just pinching myself, and I was just on the floor, and I was just like praying, and I was just pinching myself like, please wake up, please wake up. But obviously it was And then
fucking hell, man.
Like I said, luckily there was no passengers on the train, and the train driver and stuff was fine.
Yeah,
I know that they have to go through some like stuff after that happens, because obviously he didn't know that. As he's coming up to the car, he doesn't know whether people are in the car or not. But the only lucky thing was he'd just come out of a station where the train had stopped and let off like the last people, and then so it wasn't full speed. It wasn't full speed, but like obviously trying to stop a train.
They put all barriers up now on that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the whole. So a car had crashed there a year before, and they were I mean, I'm not blaming them. Obviously, it's my shit driving. But yeah, they were supposed to put barriers up, and like even the whole court case. I mean, I put my hands up and said, look, I was speeding. I took all responsibility for everything, and even like they was all on my side for some reason in court and stuff. No, and they're basically the council and everyone had fucked up. Yeah, and they, I mean, in court they said that apparently a tree had fallen down and had swerved out the way, and that the police officer had rescued.
Oh,
yeah. But it was all. I mean, I don't know what had happened or whatever.
Because I remember the article, and you got it up. They were saying it was a joyrider. It was a kid a 15-year-old kid running at Joyride.
Joyride was like
totally.
full,
Just the news just totally lied about what I said.
man.
But I mean, it was just a young and dumb. We all do it. I mean, drive like
lucky lucky that when you sort of landed and you just didn't get caught in the. Because if you got your leg caught or your foot caught, or either you
or if you hit your head and you were knocked out and you didn't get out of the car.
A year later, I was drinking in a pub and I told the story to a geezer who's drinking in the pub, and he was like, "No way!" He was like, "Red Escort," and he went, "I've got it down the salvage yard," and he was like, "Because I didn't know because they took the car and everything away, I didn't know."
Yeah.
And I was like, and he's like, "Do you want to come and see it?" So I'd like booked to go and see it. And like literally, just my driver's side was just like basically the front of the train. So yeah, would have just just
killed us there.
Yeah, so
fucking hell, man.
Yeah, just
that's
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, lucky to be here, really. But just thankful. Like, hasn't like didn't like massively affect me or anything. Just it's just one of those things where you think, right, I need to like grow up now and
exactly. And unfortunately, no one was hurt.
Because you do, when you're that young, you never feel like
mate. When I was that age, I thought I was fucking invincible.
That's what I mean. And we do dumb shit, but like that was a massive thing for me, and it was like, right, fucking hell. You only get one life, so make the most of it. Sort of. The funny thing about mine was like literally the next day, I remember like my mum was listening to the radio in the morning, and the news come on, and it was like fucking 15-year-old crashes on the train track, and blah blah blah. And then it was like, and the second story was Saddam Hussein has been hung, and I was like, yes, I got ahead of him.
I'd have been like, fuck, there's someone else crashed a car on the train track as well on the same day. That's nuts.
I remember like the next morning I wake up and like just like shook my hair and like glass had like come out my hair.
Man.
And like I remember Dad in the morning, my dad was like, son, how fast was you going? And I lied and I was like, I was going, I don't want to say any of the speeds because
31.
Let's just say I was going 31, and he was like, bollocks, mate. He went, I just went down there and done it at fucking 40, and done it at 41, and I was like, why would you do that? I was like, imagine you crash there, like the next day. In the day.
Just clipboard out, like, I've done fucking 31, 32, 30, all the way up to fucking 60.
Yeah, legendary dad. But
but
I think I actually wasn't going that fast. There was like, there was like an advert. They call it an adverse camber or something in the road. Yeah,
but if you lose control as well, it doesn't matter if you go the right speed or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, that's the thing that I learned. I was like, as soon as the brakes lock up, that's it's like I said, it wasn't massively going. Like, I've never been a huge speeder anyway, but it's just that thing. I was like, fucking hell, I can't believe, you think you're safe, don't you? And then
cars at those speeds, like, you're just not that safe.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the cost of mine.
Oh,
the quote. I think the stopping of the train, the repairing.
Oh, jeez.
The fire engine.
It was on your. I remember it was on your insurance, the claim.
Yeah.
Because your insurance was hefty for a while.
80 grand claim.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. 80 grand.
Actually, no claims out the window. Fucking hell.
Yeah, when I phone up for insurance, it's like a big alarm goes off. Nah, to be fair, they fucking big up Direct Line. I didn't have no issues with that. They sorted the whole thing out. Didn't have to.
If you want to send us any money or sponsor us,
this
the claims handler actually fucking loved you.
As if, man. 80 grand.
I've just repaid them the favour, and they've probably just got 80.
They'll probably make 80k from that.
That's it. The amount of you guys have just signed up for your car insurance. Absolutely quality.
Actually, like they don't have their own adverts.
Oh dear.
I just need 80,000 people to sign up and we're quick.
That's it.